Hey everyone! In the digital age, crime has evolved to become more sophisticated. The internet, which is supposed to make our lives easier, can also become the dangerous place in we are not vigilant. Did you know that a cyber attack occurs every 39 seconds around the world? And loss due to cybercrime are predicted to reach trillions of rupiah every year. One of the most common and most successful forms of attack is phishing. Yeah, this is phishing, a lurking cyber attack designed together to protect ourselves and our loved ones.
Dean, check this out. Huge sale on our favorite online store, up to 19% off.
Wow, how is it that big? Let me see.
Yeah, there's a special link. It says we need to sign up using our personal data and credit card for verification. I already clicked the link.
Wait, Andy, don't feel anything just yet. Look at the URL. See, this isn't the official store website. The letters are slightly different, and there are weird extra characters.
Oh, you're right, but the promo looks really tempting.
That's exactly what's suspicious. A discount that big and asking for your personal data, including credit card details for verification. This is most likely phishing, huh?
Fishing? Like fishing for fish?
Yes, but in this case, they are phishing for your personal data. The term comes from phishing because scammers cast bait and wait for victims to bite. It's one of the most dangerous types of cybercrime. Good thing you didn't fill it in yet.
Oh no, so this is a scam? But it looks so much like the real online store.
That's the point, to make victim unsuspecting. If they had entered your data, they could have used it to steal your money or identity. Thankfully, you didn't go through with it.
Now that I look again, the email that sent this link looks odd. There's a number at the end of the email domain.
That's another sign of phishing. They often use email addresses that look official, but they are actually fake.
Good thing you know about this, Dean. But what if I had already entered my card info? What would happen?
In the worst case, they could use your credit card for shopping or money transfers. They could even sell your personal data on the dark web. Many people have lost millions of rupiah to phishing.
That's terrifying. But what exactly is cybercrime? And what types are there beside phishing?
What is cybercrime? Cybercrime refers to criminal activities carried out using computer networks, or the internet. As technology evolves, so do the types of cybercrime.
Official report from Indonesia's National Cyber and Crypto Agency BSSN revealed the country faces over 3,000 cybercrime cases annually with financial losses reaching trillions of rupiah. Globally, cybersecurity vendors predict cybercrime damages will hit $10.5 trillion USD yearly by 2025, surpassing the combined GDP of Japan and Germany. Malware, harmful software like viruses, trojans, ransomware that damage or take over computer systems. Phishing, scam using fake emails, messages, or websites to steal personal information. Identity theft, stealing identities to access financial accounts or make fraudulent transactions. Hacking, unauthorized access to computer systems. Denial of service, DOS, attack that disable services or websites. Online harassment, intimidation, or bullying done online. Online fraud, internet scams like Ponzi scams or fake online shopping. Intellectual property theft, stealing intellectual works such as pirated software or digital content. Cyber espionage, spying to steal confidential government or corporate data. Cyber terrorism, cyber attacks with political or ideological motives. Let's focus on phishing, one of the most common types of cybercrime. Phishing works by tricking victims into believing they are interacting with a legitimate and trusted entity. New findings from IBM's 2023 X-Force Threat Intelligence Index reveal a startling 91% of cyber attacks now originate from phishing emails, with criminals deploying over 3.4 billion malicious messages daily worldwide. Most concerning, a Wombat security study found only 3% of employees can reliably detect advanced phishing attempts, leaving organizations dangerously exposed. Here's how phishing usually happens. 1. Preparation. Scammers create websites, emails, or messages that look identical to official ones. 2. Distribution. They send fake links via emails, SMS, social media, or messaging apps, often to thousands at once, hoping a few will fall for it. 3. Bait. Messages contain tempting offers, fake warnings, or urgent requests forcing quick action. Examples: your account has been hacked, reset your password now, or you've won a prize, claim it now. 4. Data collection. Victims click the link and enter information with scammers then collects passwords, credit card details. 5. Exploitation. Scammers use or sell the data, stealing money or committing identity fraud. Victims might suffer long-term consequences. Phishing comes in several forms such as 1. Spear phishing, targeted attacks on individual or organization using personal details. 2. Whaling phishing, aimed at top executive or important officials. 3. Smishing phishing via SMS. 4. Phishing via voice calls or voicemails.
Wow, I almost fell for it. So how do we protect ourselves from phishing, Dean?
There are a few steps we can take to avoid phishing traps. First, always check URLs carefully. Phishing sites usually have slightly different URLs.
Like that word extra character earlier.
Exactly. Second, never click on links from suspicious emails or messages. It's safer to type the official website yourself into your browser.
And if the offer is too good to be true?
That's another red flag. Third, make sure the site you visit uses HTTPS protocol. There should be a padlock icon in the address bar.
Got it. Anything else?
Enable two-factor authentication on important accounts. Never share personal info unless you're 100% sure of the recipient. And always update your software and antivirus.
What about emails? Sometimes it's hard to tell which ones are legit.
For emails, check the sender's address carefully, especially the domain. Watch out for poor grammar or spelling and be cautious of messages that create urgency or fear.
If I do fall victim to phishing, what should I do?
Immediately change your password. Contact your bank if your card info is exposed. Report it to authorities at the Cybercrime Division of the Police or the Ministry of Communication and Information, and monitor your credit reports for suspicious activity.
Thanks, Dean. This info is really valuable. I'll be more careful now and share it with my family and friends too.
Technical measures. Phishing perpetrators can be prosecuted under Law Number 1 of 2024, Second Amendment to the IT Law. Article 28, Paragraph 1 read: Any person who intentionally sends electronic information and/or electronic document containing false or misleading information which causes material losses to consumers in electronic transactions. Criminal sanctions are regulated in Article 45, Paragraph 1. Any person who intentionally distributes and/or transmits electronic information and/or electronic documents containing false or misleading information that results in material losses for consumers in electronic transactions can be punished with imprisonment for a maximum of 6 years and/or a maximum fine 1 billion rupiah. Phishing victims can report the incident to the Directorate of Cybercrime of the National Police, Criminal Investigation Unit, or the Ministry of Communication and Information so that the perpetrators can be processed according to the IT law.
Let's look at a few real-life phishing cases from recent years. Case number 1, phishing attack on a national bank. In March 2023, thousands of customers from Indonesia's largest bank, BCA, received seemingly official emails claiming there was a security issue with their accounts. The email asked customers to verify their data through a provided link. The website they were directed to looked identical to the bank's official site. Authorities confirmed losses exceeding 21 billion rupiah, highlighting how even tech-savvy users can be deceived by flawless replicas of trusted brands. The phishing email used the bank's logo and format, with a domain nearly identical to the real one. Only one letter was different. Cybercriminals exploited customers' fear of account security, causing many to click without thinking. Case number 2, COVID-19 phishing. During the COVID-19 pandemic, a surge of phishing emails and messages impersonate health organizations like the WHO and government agencies. As revealed in Interpol's 2020 cybercrime report, these scams exploited public fear by offering fake COVID-19 information, financial aid, or vaccine access, stealing personal data on a massive scale. The World Health Organization itself warned of a 600% increase in phishing attacks during this period, with their April 2020 alert noting criminals were sending 18 million daily malware emails disguised as virus updates. One example was an email claiming to be from the Ministry of Health, offering vaccine registration forms. Victims were asked for their ID numbers, credit card info for admin fees, and personal details. Many people fell for it due to limited vaccine access at that time. Case number 3, phishing via online shopping apps. Recently, phishing attacks targeted users of a popular online shopping app in Indonesia. Victims received SMS messages claiming your account has been hacked and urging them to secure your account via a link. The fake site collected login credentials and credit card info from thousands of users before being shut down by authorities.
Our take on the case: phishing attacks exploit emergencies and public fear. Cyber criminals always look for weak spots when people are panicked or not thinking clearly. They also exploit urgent needs such as access to vaccine or fear of losing bank account. What's alarming is how sophisticated these attacks have become. Phishing is no longer just poorly written emails. It now includes websites that closely mimic real ones, even using fake security certificates. That's why digital literacy and awareness are key to protecting yourself from phishing attacks. Every internet user should stay updated on cybersecurity best practices.
Turns out the digital world can be really dangerous too, Dean. I'm lucky I didn't fall for it today.
That's true, but with knowledge and vigilance, we can protect ourselves. Always remember, think before you click, and don't hesitate to learn more about online safety.
I promise I'll be more careful from now on. I'll also warn my family, especially my parents who often get suspicious messages.
That's great. We should always look out for one another. Stay safe online.
Thank you for watching this educational video. Always stay alert against cyber attacks,